It is day 1 of my period and I feel like I'm dying, but not actually. Every week we come in, we do these videos, and I love doing them, and I'm just not feeling it this week. I'm having a hard fucking week. And I just can't pull myself together to do like the usual like type videos. And I think that it's really important to be real with you on this journey to fixing your gut. And what's real is today, day 1 of my period. Emotional. I'm in pain. I'm bloated. I'm glued to the toilet. I've just had a stressful couple weeks. Which is why my period is flaring up this month. So instead of our usual edited videos, I'm going to just bring you through unfiltered, raw, and actually show you the things, the tools that I use on a day-to-day basis to support my health, both physically and mentally. Whether you're going through your period or whether you're just going through a gut flare, there are things that we need to do to support our body. And I didn't feel right this week to just glaze by that and pretend everything's okay. I'm having a hard week, and that's okay, and I'll be okay. So this week I want to take you into sort of the back end, into my home, into my bed with me, not literally, but into my bedroom. And we're going to start here because I know one of the things that I need to do to be able to support myself is get myself grounded first. So if you want to come check it out on the back end, let's do it. You may or may not know this about me, but I actually have a background in music. I am a trained opera singer, and I'm a huge advocate for music therapy and have used a lot of music in my healing journey. One of the things that is important to understand is that our cells hold memory. And so if you've had any sort of trauma or just stress even, that's something that gets bottled in the cells. And it's why I always stress it's not just about following the low FODMAP diet or eating clean or taking supplements to try to fix your gut. You also have to address the cellular level and some of the stress that's being held there. And one of the best ways that you can shift cellular stress, cellular trauma, cellular memories is through music and through vibration from that music. So I have this Moyo drum, and it is absolutely beautiful. It is tuned in D minor, and we call this a healing drum because it helps to rebalance the full body. So there are different notes on this drum that will correlate to each of your different chakras. I'm gonna just take a couple minutes and play this, get us both grounded. How's that say? And then I'm gonna take you into my kitchen because we gotta do something about these bowels in the stomach today. All right, here we go. Okay, welcome to the kitchen. When you're working with a flare, stress, periods, life happening, whatever's going on, it requires active self-care, not passive self-care. So active self-care meaning you're actively, consistently working at it. And one of the misconceptions about self-care is that it's something that can happen once a week. Like you go to work for the week, you just survive, you get the kids to school, you do all the meals, you do what you can. And then one night a week, you'll ask for help and you'll recover. And that's the difference, is self-care is not about recovery. Self-care is about prevention. It's about the maintenance of your mental, physical, spiritual health. And so don't be fooled for 1 second to think that a few minutes of music or breathing or healthy foods is enough. It is something that you need to consistently be working at. So I will be revisiting my drum tonight. It's something that I play every night before I go to bed. And I usually play it for about an hour. You probably, I'm going to assume, don't have a drum at home, and that's okay, but you can actually look music up on YouTube. I'm assuming Spotify and all those different apps, so that you can utilize music to help you too. Okay, I've got you propped up in my fridge. Here's the thing about when your bowels start to flare up. You usually aren't expecting it for the most part, right? I wasn't expecting today to be such a rough day. And so pumpkin puree is actually one of the things I recommend for our clients when they're struggling with diarrhea. Today I'm struggling with diarrhea because I'm on my period, and increase in bowel movements or loose stools when you're on your period is usually due to elevated prostaglandins. So all to say, again, I wasn't expecting that. So I don't have fresh pumpkin puree, or even canned for that matter, available, but I do have some in my freezer that I had pre-portioned out. So my first step is I'm going to actually take this out and I'll eat this later. I'll either make a smoothie with it or warm it up with some cinnamon, like pumpkin spice. I can't even think. Pumpkin spice type flavors, like whatever you want with it. Put some coconut milk in with it and make like a little pudding, okay? The other thing though is I actually have mashed sweet potato that I had prepped for Eric's lunches this week. This is one of Eric's pre-made lunches with chicken, broccoli, and mashed sweet potato. But I had some leftovers for me for lunches, and this is actually perfect. If you don't have pumpkin puree on hand, sweet potatoes are very similar, and I would say would be a close runner-up. So I'm going to bring this out and incorporate this into my lunch today. Okay, next up we need to actually go back into the freezer because I'm not cooking a damn thing today. You know what I mean? You know when you don't feel good and you're like, hell no. No. So this is where, bless you, past Alyssa, for having the forethought to stock your freezer. I always have tons of stuff in my freezer. I have, I'll show you a few things. Bone broth. I already got drinking some of that yesterday. I have pre-made snacks. So these are like an oat and applesauce bar. I have homemade granola. I have a few little protein balls left over. And most importantly, I have homemade turkey soup from Christmas, and I'm gonna eat all of the soup loaded with bone broth. I'm gonna tell you all about it in a second. I don't feel like eating right now. I don't have an appetite. And that's the other thing that you need to understand when you're not feeling well is you need to eat. It's not an option. You have to eat because your body's not trying to tell you that it doesn't need food or it doesn't need help in healing. It's just saying I'm not feeling very well and I actually need extra support. I need extra love. So that's when you really need to lean into your tools and eat even more nutritious food. That's when it becomes even more important. So I pulled out my homemade turkey soup and I made a really delicious bone broth first, and then I just added leftover turkey, carrots, celery, and cabbage. I love putting cabbage in my soups. Cabbage is high in L-glutamine, which is an incredible amino acid that helps to repair your gut lining. Today, yes, L-glutamine will be beneficial, but it's the bone broth that I'm looking for. Something that's really easy to digest and like straight nutrients that my body can just suck right up so that it doesn't have to work really hard to digest a meal. Okay, so while I'm waiting for this soup on the counter to look a little bit more appealing, I'm gonna start to ease my stomach into the idea of eating. Remember, eating is important, and you don't have to force yourself to sit down and eat a steak dinner. There are ways that you can start to ease your stomach into digestion, especially when you're not feeling well. One of the ways that I love to do that is with herbal teas. There are 3 different herbal teas that I'm going to enjoy today, obviously one at a time. The first one is peppermint. Peppermint is incredible for helping to reduce gas and bloating. And because I'm working with bloating due to my period today, I'm just gonna lean a little bit more on that tool of peppermint tea and give my body all the support that it needs. The next one is chamomile. And chamomile is commonly known for helping to calm you down when you're feeling anxious. However, I'm actually using it today because it's also really great for calming any sort of intestinal irritation. And again, because I'm experiencing diarrhea today, because of my period and those increased prostaglandins, due to the last couple of weeks of stress, my body is just pissed off, quite frankly. I'm utilizing this chamomile to help coat and soothe any sort of irritation and inflammation that's happening in my GI tract between my mouth and my bum. Okay, the last one is really critical, and this one is called Stress Soother. I'm utilizing this because I know that this is stress induced. Yes, I'm on my period, but the reason that my period is flaring like this is because I have spent the last 2 weeks in a stress cycle, and actively supporting myself through all of it, actively, remember, not passively, actively supporting myself through it. But just remember, if you are watching this and you struggle with your period today is going to be a reflection of the last month and how you have treated your body throughout the last month. So with my body being through so much stress, my period's not very happy. My body's not happy. So I'm actively working to calm myself by drinking 2 of these per day in conjunction with some of these other really delicious herbal teas. So I'm still drinking herbal teas. This is my 3rd one today. I haven't been to the bathroom in a few hours actually, so I'm feeling a little bit better. And this is the part that is really important. When you start feeling a little bit better, it can be really tempting to push yourself back into the regular old routine. And especially for you, if you're anything like me, for you high achievers of the world, for the A-type personalities, for the people who tend to carry the weight on their back and do all the things for other people, it can be really easy for this dialogue in your head to start that tells you that you need to like get back to doing all the to-dos. And this is the moment, this is the true test, in the moment where you need to actually pause and ask yourself, what else do you need? What else do I need today? And quite honestly, the answer that's coming to me is a freaking nap, because when your body is going through this, it's exhausting. When your body is bloated or gassy or in pain, as I'm getting like this knot right in my lower stomach right now, when you're feeling really rough and your body is doing all the work to help you feel better, it is tiring, and it's important that you rest. And so it makes sense why my body is asking for that. The question is, are we willing to listen? I'm ready to listen because I want to feel better. And I don't just want to feel better today, which is why I'm actively working on my self-care every day. So I just encourage you guys, when you're in these moments and you start to feel better, to remind yourself that you are just barely out of the woods. And that is not the time to go full tilt back into, the usual routine. Typically, the usual routine is what got us stuck here in the first place. So, next up on my agenda for today is doing some deep breathing. I'm going to be doing some specific breathing patterns. One of the ones that I'm going to be doing is breathing in for 3 seconds, holding for 3 seconds, exhaling for 6 seconds, so that it can help calm my nervous system, because I'm having a hard time catching my breath, which is like that anxiety feeling that you guys may relate to. And so this breathing technique can get you back into your body. And then I'm going to give this whole nap thing a real try. So maybe we'll see you on the other end. I'm just kind of waking up and cuddling my kitty. They're the best. They're the best. Support system, nervous system regulators, right? We love you. You're cute. Okay, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. A few things that I just didn't capture today. Hot Epsom salt baths, it's plural. I love my baths. Journaling, sitting in the feelings, processing the feelings, lots of water. And I want to wrap this video up, wrap this week up, and just remind you, because I think you might need this reminder, as do I sometimes, that it's okay to rest. It's okay to say no. It's okay to take a mental health day. It's okay to not finish your to-do list. It's okay to not be productive always. And it is not your responsibility how other people feel. You don't need to take care of the world. You don't need to take care of everyone else. That is their responsibility. Your only job is to take care of yourself. That's it. Can you just sit with that for a second? Can you imagine how much lighter you might feel if you truly just focused on your sole responsibility, which is taking care of yourself? And in doing so, you show up the best version of yourself, and that is what is in service to the people around you. It's pretty profound. And I want you to understand that I'm sharing this with you guys today because this is what the work looks like to fix your gut. It's not following strict diets and taking supplements. It's not just that. Your gut, your gut is out of balance, when our body is out of balance, it is because we are out of balance. We are out of alignment. And part of this healing journey for you is going to be getting into alignment, which requires you to sit in your emotions and process the emotions. Because when we don't do that, as I mentioned earlier, they get bottled in our cells. They turn into cellular memory. This turns into trauma in the body, stress in the body, tension in the body. And it makes perfect sense why your bowels are so angry then, right? If you're constipated, the body's so contracted, it literally can't let shit go. And if you're in diarrhea, that's the body like purging, being like, fuck it, like I need to open the floodgates and let this shit go because I can't hold this on. I can't hold it in anymore. We need to let it out. So you have to do this work. There is no quick fix. There's no one supplement or one medication or one diet that's going to fix this for you. It takes real work. And I want you to know that you are strong enough to do it. You can do hard things, and you can absolutely do this. Just setting that time aside to be active in your healing is what's going to make all of the difference for you. So I'm sending you all the permission that you might need today to create the space to do this work for yourself. And I hope that this video has been in service to you, been helpful so that you can see what it looks like, the good, bad, and ugly. But also that maybe you're not alone. Maybe you're feeling all the feels too. And next week, we'll be back with more of the good stuff. All right, guys. Bye.